like fantastic.
Bambi Lynn, hear the rhythm rise. Bambi Lynn, we see you shine. Rider, fighter, heart so true. Author of a story that carries you through. She walked through the fire, came out strong. Every battle made her spirit a song. Josephine and the treasures of my heart. A voice of truth that sets us apart. Then, let the drum line roll again. Stories bold, the truth within. All rise up for Bambi Lynn. Bambi Lynn. For Bambi Lynn. She writes of love, she writes of fight, shining wisdom through the night. Josephine speaks, her treasures tell, a legacy of heart, we know it well. Stop, hear the sound, her words lift us off the ground. Truth like thunder, so wide. With Bambi Lynn, we testify. Bambi Lynn, hey, let the drum line roll again. Hey, author's voice, hey, the strength within. All stand tall for Bambi Lynn. For Bambi Lynn. Keep your heart, keep your fire. Josephine's treasures lift us higher. Bambi Lynn, your name we sing. With every drum, let freedom ring. Hey, let the drum line roll again. Hey, stories bold. Hey, the truth within. All rise up for Bambi Lynn. Bambi Lynn, Bambi Lynn. For Bambi Lynn. For Bambi Lynn. Let the drum line roll again. Stories bold, the truth within. All rise up for Bambi Lynn.
Hey everyone, my name is William Rochelle, but you can call me Bill. And I want to start by saying that yesterday, one of my guests, who I admired very much, Bambi Lynn, passed away. It was sudden, it was unexpected, and I am not a spokesperson for the family, so I can't say anything else. But that was the song I wrote for her when she was a guest on the show. So late last night, while I was trying to figure out what my opening would be, I felt that made the most sense. But today, and I want everyone to just take a moment and to really think about the value of life before I go into like the show. And what I want you to think about, and what I have to think about, is that I didn't know what my show was going to be about today. And it's International Women's Day. And my thought on Saturday was, let me reach out to Bambi Lynn, if she'll be my guest, because she's just a phenomenal woman. And then I got the text from a good friend of mine of the information. So I want to tell you guys, if someone pops in your head, call them. By the time it popped in my head, it was already too late. So that's that. But tomorrow's not promised for any of us. And we're all going through something. And she leaves behind 6 children, grandchildren. And she was a woman that was really, really strong. She was fighting. I think I can say that she had diabetes. And I'm going to leave it there. So today we're going to talk about something a lot of people confuse. That's the difference between building followers and building community. Followers can come and go with the algorithm. Community, Kenneth Dunner. Community, Peter Muffler, Felipe Cofino, Kinga, Jackie, Carrie, Layla. And I really want to preface, and Nick, I really want to preface this, Leslie Flowers. I really want to preface Kenneth and Felipe and Peter and Jeremy and Mike, because those guys, when I first came on, they lifted me up. And the other day, I saw Peter on someone's thing, and I said, "My friend." That's because I miss him. You know, Peter has gone and gotten a job with DFW. I'm excited about that. Yay, Peter. But we talked through some things that were, it was a male group, and it was about challenges that men go through when life gets disrupted. And I'm not saying it's different than what women go through, but that network was more than followers. It's community. And for me, this platform is not about the algorithm. It's about the community, because the community stays because it's built on trust, shared energy, honesty, and consistency. For me, this is not about selling something. For me, this show saved my life. When I was going through a very dark period, it gave me a reason to show up. And Felipe and Peter and Kenneth and Jeremy, they would sit and listen to me talk. Kenneth would shut me up, but the rest of them would listen to me talk. This is about staying connected, staying mentally fresh, meeting people, learning from them, and creating a space where people can show up as they are. So I am going to invite up my 2 major guests. It's Layla, who I call Splish Splash, and Fred. Hello, Layla.
Hello.
We got one more sitting out there. Should we invite her up too? I'll ask Fred.
I mean, you know, we're an inclusive community here.
Okay.
Right? We love everybody.
All right.
We love everybody.
My joy right now is giving Carrie a hard time. She is such a beautiful spirit. She is so refreshing. She has so much more energy than I have. And her and Layla, you guys just met, right? They are like a dynamic duo where when you see one, you see the other. They are supporting each other. It's national. What is it? International or national? It's Women's Day, and they are women supporting women. And I ride with that. I ride with that hard. And Fred and I met yesterday, and that was not fun for him. It was fun for me. Because I'm like, where did Layla and Coach Carey find Fred? And I didn't know if they knew him or not. So I thought they had just randomly found Fred. But Fred is actually a friend of Coach Carey. What I'd like to start out with right now is with the big nuggets. You know, community is not built by broadcasting, it's built by belonging. A lot of people think community means posting everywhere. Posting everywhere can make you visible, but it does not automatically make people feel seen. Layla, I feel like you guys are straddling that line. So you're getting your message out there, but you're also building community. You're talking about things that resonate with people. What are you finding as you are outside of your technical challenges? What are you finding as you're connecting with the LinkedIn community and then with the other platforms?
It's a great question. And, you know, I was desperate actually looking for community. 2025 was a challenging year. Lost my job, lost my dad to cancer, and I just felt like my world crumbled. And throughout COVID, I've lost relationship, friendships, and throughout my career journey, I've lost friends. Back to school, losing friends, family. Like it's just, you know, your support diminish and your community diminish as you evolve and grow. And I was like, I woke up one day, it's like I need people. I need to connect. And that's how I started. I don't know how I ended up on Skool, but I ended up on Skool, and then I met through Skool, met a couple people. Then I went on a couple audio shows that I never done before, and then I met Carrie on audio shows and Lachelle, and that's how I started developing this new community that's been supportive. And I've been in it for just a couple weeks, and I'm enjoying the journey. And because initially I was like, you know, I don't like LinkedIn. It's so performative. It's not real. There's no real people. I was just going to give up on it. And then when I was close to giving up, then some people showed up, it's like, "Hey, Layla, I made a post, and then let's talk about it." And then that got me back into LinkedIn, but with a different purpose of building community.
And are you finding it?
I am, and I'm surprised of that because LinkedIn felt like it wasn't.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Fred, good morning.
Hey, good morning and afternoon to you. First, I'd like to say thank you for inviting me out, and you have I'm very sorry for your loss.
Thank you very much. My first question to you is, what did you have for dinner last night? Now, I told you that was going to be the first question. So you had to, you knew what the question was going to be. So what was it?
Wow, I wasn't prepared for that. Let me check my notes. I had a turkey burger.
Okay, all right. So it wasn't the salad with the 2 croutons and the stacks of meat in between.
Well, my second meal was a salad.
You're great. So the reason why I wanted Fred to come, you guys, is contrary to popular belief, I don't just invite people on my show. And we were talking, and I think you said that you leave spirituality out because it encompasses everything. But can you talk us through those pillars that you described yesterday that you learned from Muhammad Ali and Bruce Lee, and how they all come together to encompass spirituality? And did I get that right?
That's close. That's close enough. That's very good to be honest with you for a very quick set of words. So it makes me feel like I should be able to explain this well. A little bit of, I need to set the framework a little bit. I'm a teacher. I teach human development and whole health education through whole health martial arts science. And in this, we focus on human excellence, understanding more of our existence, the expanding of the consciousness of the whole self. So we've been able to recognize what it means to break high amounts of concrete and transcend in ways that can be explained now even through sciences such as quantum physics. So the mysticism has been reduced for a more common language. So in that, we've not only seen what we were able to do physically, I was able to give results in school systems to where students have increased in their academics by 97% and in their social behavior by 98% for those that participated in the training and the programs, as well as working with organizations through professional development, where not only did the morale shift, the work productivity advanced. And so what we are is we actually operate through the science of wholeness that we use through martial arts science. So if that can lay some framework, if you will, I've been teaching this for over 35 years, but I formally created the organization in 2003. So this will be our 23rd year, partnered with schools, corporations, senior institutes, and special needs organizations. Along the way, not only do we have the ability to punch, kick, and things to that nature, we have the ability to step out of thought. Stepping out of thought is now what they're using the term of metacognition, where we're able to analyze our thoughts versus our thoughts tormenting and provoking us. This type of an awareness provides the opportunity for us to make decisions from a place of consciousness versus reaction. And that is what I would say, even in some forms of biblical terms, what it means to become the head and not the tail. So, of course, I wouldn't go into an institute or lead with a form of an opinion or a disposition that would threaten any form of spiritual beliefs, because every one of them are valid in all of their own rights and all of our own rights. What I teach is the awareness of the collective whole. So when we look at spirituality, yesterday I used the term mind, body, emotions. And I said I didn't say spiritual, because I did used to say spiritual until it dawned on me. All of it's spiritual. You take a bone and you snap it in half and you place it properly and in alignment. Alignment is a key word. In alignment and in proper environment, it has the intelligence to heal itself. That's a physical trait with a spiritual attribute, making the physical also spiritual. Our existence is beyond our five senses. We exist in manners in which we recognize premonition. You ever been driving and you feel something and you turn and look and see someone looking at you? We want to understand that we're more than just our physical being. We want to understand that we're not even our skeleton. It is a unified existence of within each other. We think that our skeleton is inside of us. But when you understand the nervous system, which you're getting all your feelings, all your responses, even your physical touch, you will understand that that's within inside the skeleton. The brain is not outside, it's inside of it. So we're within it, and it is within us in this duality of existence. But to keep it plain and applicable to everyday life, how we wake up, how we live, how we pursue our desires in life, our goals, our dreams, or for those of us that understand the importance of answering your calling. The application of this quiets the noise of voice, where we are able to reconnect with that voice that told us to stand up on 2 feet when we had no understanding of the science of balance, but something called us up to our feet. Reconnecting with that, what we call our brilliance, our genius, or others have even said the genie, which has a great comparison because that relationship is what helps push our humanity forward. I believe that we're here to become aligned and then walk in answer our purpose, or what others would say, calling. But you have to become aligned in your whole existence so that you can be honest with yourself and stop listening to the words that are not your authentic, if that's not your authentic conversation. And examples of this, of how these things happen, were things such as when we were children, we were told that we were pretending and imagining. We were not pretending when we were children, we were becoming. We started pretending when we got older and started trying to fit into a society that didn't meet us where we were. That's when the pretending started. So we're at a point in our humanity where we can become unraveled now because the minds and the brains are ready to accept and the idea that we're more.
So when you say unravel, because it could have 2 different meanings, right? So unravel to me could mean spiraling out. Or do you mean blossoming when you say unravel?
In order for us to, and thank you so I can make it clear. In order for us to blossom, we have to be okay with spiraling out of a traditional accepted common mindset. It has the tendency of the challenge of what was taught it summons a courage. Now, the great thing about the way it's taught is it's taught through practical applications versus you have to have some form of intense focus or redefined discipline. It takes place on its own. I never had to tell the students you have to do better in school. That it happened automatically. The students that had behavioral challenges of conduct, fighting, conflict resolutions, never had to tell them to stop fighting. I just had to show them how to resolve a conflict properly that didn't degrade them and embarrass them. Once they became confident of themselves, they saw themselves in that light of being, I'm a serious person, and I can actually hurt you, and I know you don't understand that. So I'm trying to pull that down. So now we're learning self-responsibility. So it's not really, the challenge in none of us really knowing it or being taught it. So that means it has to be discovered. Now, the discovery of it does not mean we created it. All intelligence has existed since the beginning of time. It all exists now. Everything that we're going to realize in the future is already now. It's just realization of it. And then having the ability to communicate it in a way that reached the rational mind. When I was younger, I was fortunate to train in Japan and train in Korea. I'm a United States Marine. I actually taught it in the Marine Corps as well. And I wasn't
Thank you
just
for your
only,
service.
thank you for your acknowledgement. It didn't only show Marines how to become more devastating in combat, it also showed them how to center themselves. Because if the Marine Corps is not widely known for its social behavior. So they learn from those perspectives to understand stillness. So
That's interesting. So one of the things I'm struggling with right now is I have all the tools in my toolbox, and I wrote about this yesterday, but I can't find the toolbox. Do you understand what that means?
Yes.
Like, I have the tools, but where are they? And it's because everything that I could see, feel, touch has turned upside down in a way that even when I go back to those tools, which is censoring, which is I used to go to sleep to the Secret. I don't know if you've ever listened to that book or not, but just positive affirmations and mental rewiring. And it's been difficult. So how do you, or actually not you, because you're not me, how would you talk to someone like myself that says, I know what to do, but it's not working for me right now?
I will go to the core of that actual statement. I know what to do, but I know it's not working for me right now. So my biggest question, or the thing I would ask you to ask yourself is, where is your faith? Do you believe that not only are you capable, but you will? Have you accepted that?
Do I have to answer the question?
Not yet. Not yet.
No, I will.
Can I add something into it?
Yes, sir, you can.
Remember when I discussed earlier, we became raveled and we have to become unraveled. And I talked about us as children.
Yep.
Let's go back to that time when you were that, where you were whatever you were imagining, whatever you were thinking. Now, of course, you did not have all of the tools developed that you were aware of, but you had the most important one. You believed it.
Yeah.
At that time, at that moment, whatever we were doing, we were it. To the point that if our parents said, stop, you have to stop, it made us want to cry. So we have it reversed, where we have an outer existence and an inner existence, but we're looking at our outer existence and judging our inner. It's that parable of looking in the mirror and asking and wanting it to smile. But if you're looking, it won't smile until you accept the realization of what I was blessed to already have. I realize I have it. I realize I can do it. I realize that I have done things before. I realize that and this is where that idea of calling comes in also. If we know it came from a place that pulled us from one place, what would make us think, then it won't move us forward.
Do you believe that as we get older and we go through different circumstances, that life itself has fogged our memory of who we are? And what I mean by that is, so in my 20s, I was invincible. In my 30s, I could move a mountain. In my 40s, and slowly as I get older, and I don't know if it's exhaustion from constantly just going, or if it's just I'm so tired of having to like start over again, which is fear, and faith and fear can't live in the same place. Like I said, I understand the tools, but sometimes, especially when it has to do with finances and stability, that's my trigger.
That's very interesting. As a licensed financial advisor, I don't work with my clients until I understand they have a form of alignment and clarity.
Mhm.
That's our first stages in working with the finance, simply because just like what I'm talking about, our general reality of it's reversed in perception. We're looking at the outside for us to feel something when it's reversed. You have to see it already created, already done, and continue to work. There's no such thing as it's just going to happen. You have to continue to work
Right?
because it's already done. Now you're just finishing it out. So going to the idea of addressing finances, it attacks our nervous system because we don't know. We heard so many different things. How do you even know what to believe? We don't know that an insurance agent is not an investment advisor. They're selling you investments through a life insurance policy. We don't, because we don't have the understanding. So the first thing we're supposed to be seeking is not the product. We should be seeking first the understanding.
Hmm.
And how do you acquire understanding properly? That means you have to do a little bit of research, or you go through your network. Your network of people would know, even if they don't do it, they should know. Someone should know. How do you get a proper understanding of how money works?
Well,
Because
I know how money
we got
works.
it wrong.
I know how money works. Anyway, that let's go on to Layla for a second. And I'm sure that speaking with Fred or listening to Fred, you have a million questions, Layla. And Fred, you've been fantastic. We're going to come back to you.
Thank you.
So do you want me to ask questions to Fred? Is that
You can talk about you can talk about Fred, whatever conversation, because what my show really what it's about is what direction is the universe taking us in. And so whatever you say in this moment is what someone out there needs to hear.
okay? So I love that he shared, kind of take you back to your childhood, because that's definitely a place where, we start very innocent. We live in the moment. We don't think about 6 months from now, a day after. We just live in the moment. And I think as an adult, we kind of lose that a little bit because we're in this hamster wheel a little bit. So um, I think that's super interesting what he said. And for me, it's, mindset is everything, because 2025 was probably the hardest year, the most challenging year of my life. And I've decided, 2026 is going to be a yes year. And that's why I'm here today, because I said yes to this. Maybe before I would be thinking about it. Should I do this or not? And in my yes year, I've decided, you know what? You got to trust the process. If a door were shut because it was in your best interest. And that's the hardest, difficult place to be, because I'm in a very similar place where you're at. And today I woke up and I looked at my bank account. My bank account, I was like, I am not gonna give you the number because it's so low. I wasn't sure. I was like, what happened? But I believe that I'm on a different path in my journey. And you got to have faith and trusting the process and practicing gratitude. And that's what I've been doing a lot more. I wake up every day and I was like, thank you for giving me an opportunity to be here again today to make a difference for myself and others. Because not everybody woke up today. So that practicing that does help you get through. And even in those difficult moments, God is the best planner. God is the best plan. So he knows what he's doing. And in those situations where you're waiting patiently and you're stressed and worried, something amazing has come out of it. We don't know what it is. And that's where what Fred mentions, like having that faith, and it's hard and it's not easy because you don't know. And that's the beauty of the journey of being a human is you're going to wake up tomorrow. It can be at 24 hours. That switch going to go on and everything's going to open up. But we don't know when that's going to happen. In the meantime, I keep telling myself, you know what? Connect with people, build a community, find other people that will uplift you, to take you out of this dark place. Because I was in a dark place as well. And I was like, I can't keep staying there. It's not healthy. I need to get back on track. And I've met this beautiful community that I'm in here today that give me a reason to wake up every day. I have a purpose because my purpose now is like, I'm also supporting others in their growth and development. And I just find it very exciting, even though my life is not where I want it to be at this point. But I trust that it's going to be better because I got to this point. Well, I got here because I trusted the process and I followed the journey and I said, you know what? I'm doing it. So to get to this point, it means that there's more for us to do where we're at. So that's what I would say. You're on mute.
That's very powerful, very inspirational as well.
Carrie?
Thank you.
Yes.
I know you have something to contribute.
Well, I agree with what Fred Jordan just said in terms of Layla's statements being extremely powerful. One of the things that I'm struggling not to say Dr. Jordan because he has Sensei Jordan on the screen, but one of the things that our conversations resonated around was living in your preferred existence. And that's one of the things that I had to learn how to do when things weren't exactly the way that I wanted them to be, is to live in my preferred existence. So there's this amazing book called The Mountain Is You by Brianna Weist, and she has you to go back to your childhood to kind of heal your childhood traumas. But the other thing that she does, which I think she does really well, is to have you go into the future and really get into that space of where you want your life to be. And sometimes the present is not exactly as we would want it to be, but that opportunity, like Layla said, to wake up in gratitude. Like I wake up and I'm just grateful because I know somebody did not wake up. So I wake up intentionally. And the first thing that I say is that I'm grateful to be awake. And then I take deep breaths because I've learned how to breathe so that I can center myself. So that's how I start my day. But that's something that I learned through my conversations with Fred, is learning how to breathe. Because you all know me today, but you don't know me a year ago, right? And so I had to learn how to center myself and how to breathe through things that I was going through. And it's still an ongoing work in progress. But I think that Layla's absolutely right. Building a community and collaborating with other like-minded individuals, even people who have different thoughts and different ideas from you, because that can stretch you. And so I think it's really important to have a reason to wake up every day so that you can connect to people. And even when you don't feel like you have something to give, we all have something that we can contribute. And the more you focus on what it is that you want, the more likely you are to receive it. Because it's already here. We just have to believe that it's here, and we have to put in the work to get exactly what it is that we say we want.
I agree with all of you guys. Fred, back to you.
Okay, back to me, and I guess back to us. Thank you all.
Yes.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I where we stopped off was alignment with money. And money is abundant. It comes, it flows. You attract what you believe you can receive. But in times like today, where the economy is falling apart and jobs are being lost, that's where the conflict with me occurs, because there's a reality out there that cannot be discounted. And I'm not saying we cannot move mountains. I'm saying we cannot attract, and I'm not going to be back in the seat I was in. What I'm saying is right now, I need to figure out how to re-navigate through this space. And that is where I am personally struggling. And it's also a PTSD. I had everything in 2010 in the market crash. And what does that mean? It means my house got foreclosed, my car got repossessed, I needed to find a place to live. And then I rebuilt it all back. And that's why I said, does it change as we get older? Because I'm getting tired. And built it back successfully. And then, not because of poor planning, not because I didn't have the right dollars coming in, and not because I didn't invest correctly, because of situations. It's a situational issue. And so, and I'm being very sensitive right now, and I'm putting you in the hot seat right now, Fred. So how do you speak to me without diminishing the fact that my concerns are real?
Definitely, I commend you for bringing that forward, so that the subject alone can have some form of addressing even from the perspective that I shared. So thank you. When I started studying the SIE, then the 6, then the 63, then the 65, and then the mortgage loan originator officer licensing, we know that in our thinking that we think in patterns. We know that our actual neurological sequences fire up in different sequences, which tells us which is the route of how we think. As I studied those subjects, it changed my view, perspectives, which changed my relationship with money, in the sense of I didn't define it the same way. So I'm a martial artist. I hold a record for breaking 59 bricks in a minute. I'm known for demonstrating breaking from a perspective where it's beyond your physical strength, because I understand it's an energy. Once I saw that the dollar itself didn't hold value and went up and down in value, but the paper itself was nothing, I understood money was an energy. So money, the energy moves on levels, up and down, side to side. Energy does not have a one direction. If you can understand where are you tapping into the energy at, because it's still flowing. Money never stopped flowing. The economy went bad, but money flowed, plenty continued to flow if they print it. And then they say this is the money that can go out to places, but where are you trying to get it? What level are you trying to get it on? What is the energy at that level? I've pushed so hard with the school systems through Chicago, New York, LA, looking to put those in my martial art classes in their schools. Guaranteed results. People have seen it. Children, parents, people have written letters and things to that nature. But the schools did not fund a continuation program because the money wasn't on that level. It was on another level. The stream was somewhere else. So instead of understanding, well, this is how many dollars I need, maybe this is just a thought, maybe asking, or maybe saying, this is the stream of income that I need to tap into. Not just this is where I need to hit some dollars. I need this stream because this stream is coming from this, the way the money is flowing.
So when you say stream, what do you mean?
Remember, the energy is flowing.
Uh-huh.
Currency is flowing. It's coming from a decision in combination with Congress and the feds of what they're going to do to the economy, but it just adjusts the streams.
Okay.
So looking to learn, get the understanding of how are the streams adjusted. So every year, and before I speak on this like it's in stone, but I understand that there is a release of some form of either a publication or it's public about the laws that have come down for the year.
Yep.
That shows us where the money is going and how it's going to touch, and where you can now look to intercept or look to participate in certain streams. I'm not saying that is the only way. I'm saying from a mindset perspective, based on what our own personal goals are. Who's really controlling the money? Where is it really actually coming from?
Well, that's okay. So that's where, and I'm not going to get into it today, but that's where the politics comes in. That's where money is not flowing down. Let's say that right now. And the government has cut not just funding, but jobs, government jobs, private sector jobs. So, and this is the perfect conversation for LinkedIn, because most people on LinkedIn are looking to network to get some form of either you're coaching, consulting, you're selling a book, you're trying to get your next big raise, whatever. So when you're saying, hey, look at where the money's coming from, but right now it's not going to healthcare, it's going to bombing Iran. It's not going to healthcare, it's going to bombing Ecuador. And we're talking about billions. It's $1 billion a day is what they say that wars are costing us right now. And that could feed entire communities. And when, and I'm not angry, but when my house got foreclosed on, my tax dollars bailed out the banks, but did not give me my house back.
Yeah, you're 100% right as it relates to the politics. And if a person was going to resolve it from only a means of what political stance I would take, it's very difficult to do, and very difficult to say, well, we got money for wars, but we honestly know that that's always existed. We have money for war, but can't feed the poor. And
right, but just because something's always existed doesn't mean it should exist.
100% correct.
Hatred's always existed. It does not mean it should exist.
Yeah, definitely.
Acceptance and love should exist in place of hate. But yes, unfortunately, the reality is that I can love you, you can love me, but the person next door can think that we are subhuman.
Mm-hmm. So that has two discussions, going back to the one again as it relates to what levels are we dealing with people on? Are we dealing with them in our personal interaction with them, or are we dealing with them based on what their thoughts of us are? Is levels. And the common core between the entire conversation is becoming aware of your equation of knowing that, one, what you give attention to will grow, whether that's doubt, uncertainty, disbelief, I will be surprised, I hope. These are things that you can make your mind up about. I made my mind up. It will happen. It has happened before. Every challenge I faced, I overcome. And everything I faced taught me something that put me somewhere else closer to where I was looking to go.
Love that.
So like Layla was saying, aligning your faith, staying aligned in holding on, holding in there mentally. See, you need your nervous system okay in your physical existence so that you can hear clear. Because once that nervous system starts responding to the story that you're telling yourself, and it paints the picture, your nervous system attacks your thought. For what, you're doing all kinds of stuff and you forgot the mission. But every situation we faced, we got through it. We were okay when we didn't think we were okay. And we have all seen things happen in our life where we know it was beyond our own thinking. It was some form of favor, some form of an alignment, some form of an answer. How can you recognize favor without struggle? What will make us think that we can't put our mind toward accomplishing something and cannot do it? That is a thought to insult our genius. We were told, oh, they're going to hold us back, or they can, or they think about us a certain way. Or
wait. I need to repeat that. That is a thought to insult our genius. Is that what you said?
I think, yeah.
Think. Okay. That is a thought to insult our genius. I want everybody out there to sit with that for 2 seconds.
I'm going to say
because that was fire. That was fire. And I'm purposely pushing back on you. I'm purposely saying, but. And Layla and Carrie and I believe, have had this conversation. It's about how do you coach people or consult with people during this period, because everything is unknown. And your previous practices can't apply to today's timing. But what you're saying is, don't look at the world around you. Look inward and understand that you yourself can get you out of this. But you have to believe like you've never believed before. You have to see it as if you're already holding it. That you have to know that seat is waiting for you. You just need to go and sit down on it. That's what I'm hearing. And no weapon formed against you shall prosper. And I'm not going to get into the Bible because I don't follow traditional religion. I am spiritual. But I do believe that there are takeaways in the book, right? So you were about to say something. I'm sorry.
I wanted to build in the statement of the belief in self. Sometimes a person or all of us, at least I know I did, we would say that we have to choose to believe. And in reality, we're always believing. We have to direct our beliefs. A lot of times we believe things that we don't prefer. And that's what we feel. We have to direct our beliefs because I personally, I knew people that when they reached millionaire status, they were still uneased because they believed that the money was going to give them the peace or give them a way of sit back. None of this ends.
But you know what? But let me tell you, money can buy you a whole lot of therapy. That's what I will tell you. It's one thing you don't have to worry about. Like right now at William Rochelle 153, that's my PayPal account because I ain't got no money. So anybody want to contribute, go there. So it does not buy you happiness, but it does give you one thing that you don't have to worry about. You don't have to worry about your health. You don't have to worry about your car payment or your house payment or anything else. You don't have to worry about how your children are going to college. So it doesn't buy happiness, but it buys you a level of comfort, especially if you're building with integrity and intention. Integrity and intention. So a billionaire that's robbing to become a billionaire, yeah, that's not going to give him peace because he's not there's no integrity there. I'd love to get Layla's perspective on this conversation.
I mean, like Fred said, like really great things. So I have to say, and I agree with him, as an executive coach, when I coach the person, not the problem. And that's where all the popular beliefs, breaking barriers, things that are preventing you from moving forward. And then when you're in a situation of stress and you have money, financial issues, of course, it's going to impact your life. Of course, it's going to impact your security, your mindset, your health. Like we're human. We need money to function in the world. Nothing is free. And I would look at with like all your background and your experience over the years. What can you do differently now, knowing all the background that you have? Maybe the universe is telling you something else to do things in a different way. And you
I agree with
just
that.
haven't figured it out yet. Because you are maybe hypothetically, we're just talking, right? When I talk to my,
Yeah.
like, it's like, okay, well, maybe Bill the 5 years, 6 years ago, or 10 years ago is no longer. He's a different person. He's evolved, he's grown, he's changed, he's acquired so many skills, and you're in a different journey. And maybe universe is telling you, you know what, you're ready for something different in you. We need you to cut up to it. I don't know. I'm just saying, but so that's why we coach not the problem, but the person. Really is like the mindset. Where are you at? Where you want to be yourself? What do you see for yourself? Where are you heading? What do you need for you for right now to be secure? And what can you do differently? And I would add to, trusting the process. We're here today. It means that throughout all these years, there's always something that came up. Everything is temporary in life. Whatever goes down is going to go up eventually. So nobody stays down forever. And that's not, it doesn't happen. Everybody goes up eventually. And that's just how life is. And to learn to just navigate life and control more your emotions. If you have a bad day, that's okay. Have the bad day. You don't punish yourself for that. I'm having a bad day. I'm not happy today. That's okay. Acknowledge it, do it. And have another day I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something for myself. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to practice my gratitude, and I got to trust the process. God's plan is the best plan. He knows what he's doing. And that's hard to remember, right? And he took us all the way here today. So he's something for us.
Yep.
And God is not limited by human laws.
Say that again.
He's not. I said, God is not limited by human laws. How we
Laws.
operate
Okay.
in this world, abundance on his side is not limited to how we do things here. He's not impacted by politics. He's not
Right.
impacted by economy. Like, it doesn't work that way. So trusting that, to remember that he has the key of the opening the door, and he's the key who closes the door. And keeping that in mind, and that's where I'm trying to keep to tell myself that, okay, it's not happening today, but I purposely don't read the media anymore, because I need to stay in a positive place, because I know my mind cannot take it right now. And I feel for everybody who was going through difficult times, and it's just awful. But I know for my own sanity, I need to stay in gratitude, because we gotta practice that gratitude, that we had the opportunity here to be around loved ones, to talk to somebody you care for, to be here today, and to help others and empower possibly others. We're doing something. So that's just something to keep in mind. And I trust and believe that something way better is coming for all of us, because we wouldn't be here today. And those doors
Absolutely.
were not shut if there was not something better. And they were shut because there was a reason, and we don't know it. There was a protection, So
And the
that's
reason
what I
why
would say.
the reason why I'm pushing back is because there's someone out there that needs to hear that there's a struggle. And if I, in my opinion, Fred, if I come up here every week and I'm like, everything is great and just believe, which I do believe in, there's someone out there that's struggling that says, I've been believing for 3 years and nothing's happened for me. And so I want to say that the um the universe, God, the belief system is something that you need to lean into extremely heavily and with intent. But there are times, just like I said with that toolbox, that you feel like you can't reach the toolbox, but remember it's there. You just need to open it. And sometimes when it gets dark, you just need to turn on a flashlight. Where's that toolbox at? Because it's there. We have everything we need inside of us. Everything. But
And
and go ahead, Layla.
you're saying really important things, and it doesn't negate how you feel and what you're going through. The only thing when you practice gratitude and having faith, it's almost like it helps for your mental health and your physical health to just wake up. It doesn't fix everything. It doesn't resolve whatever you're going through that time. It's just to give you some hope, to be like, tomorrow will be better. Not today. And I have my moments too, but it's just to help you get through the day, to have that. It doesn't, like I said, it won't solve everything. It might not put food on the table, but today I'm thinking, you know what? I have a roof on my head. I had clean water. I had a hot shower, and I had food. I was like, wow, today was good. Hopefully tomorrow will be better. Like,
Yeah.
I'm in the same place as you are, but I'm really trying really hard to be like, and I have those voices as well. There's like, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not educated enough. I'm going through interviews like, you're not experienced enough, you don't nothing enough. And I'm just like, you know what? Sure. But
And I
someday,
don't
somewhere,
I don't want to bring down the energy because I want to uplift, really. So guys, I'm in a good spot today, but I'm living life minute by minute. And all that means is that I can wake up tomorrow and get some bad news, and it takes me a minute to get over it. And if I do it day by day, that's too long for me, because I need to recognize that the next minute is going to be better and flip that switch, because I can't afford to be down all day. I need to rewind rewire myself minute by minute. If you look at my life on paper, where I came from versus where I've been, it doesn't make sense. So there's something else out there that has lifted me and carried me through. I know that today is just a moment. It's that big in the space of our life. But that's why I wanted to hear from Fred and from Layla and Carrie today, so that you can hear and basically what we're doing is kind of playing good cop, bad cop, right? I'm telling you all the reasons why, and you guys saying all the good reasons to overcome it. Because there's someone out there that's been looking for a job for 3 years or 4 years or 2 years, and you feel like you have no value. It will get better. It will get better, and you guys will thrive. Coach Carey?
You know, what Layla said is so important when she started talking about, God, and Fred talked about spirituality. One of the things that I realized, Bill, is that the God is in us, and a lot of times we're looking externally for solutions to the things that we want. And that's why it's so important, that concept that what you focus on expands even in the darkest hour. So I've had my own share of personal challenges where I didn't have money to do the things that I wanted to do, and I definitely didn't have money to do the things that I needed to do. And what I said was, I am a money magnet. I am a person that people are looking for. I am a person that has excellent references. I am a person that people aspire to come in contact with. And what happened during that hour, when I was in a very similar position to you, where I was about to lose my house, I was about to lose this and lose that, I got a letter in the mail. All I focused on was, look, I want my house. It's just, I am living in this house. And I got a letter where they gave me $30,000 from the government to catch me up on my payment. Well, I ended up hospitalized. I lost my job. I didn't have any streams of income. And I said, I want my house. I am staying in this house. Well, then I ended up having to file bankruptcy. And then after the bankruptcy happened, there's this shame that comes with it. But I realized the bankruptcy is the plug. It's the code where I was able to stay in the house and not pay any type of mortgage or payments for almost 18 months. And so that allowed me to re-up. And so there are tools and resources available. And I wrote an article about it, that sometimes we just have to understand all we got to do is focus on what we want. It's not on us to figure out how it's going to show up. And all of the skills that we have, right, where we were making 6 figures, 7 figures a year, we still have those skills. Maybe it's time to stop asking for a seat at the table and build it ourselves collectively. And that's what this collaboration and community is about.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Fred, back to you.
All right. I agree 100%. What Coach Carey said, or what Layla said, it amplifies the idea of alignment, aligning self properly. What I'm talking about when I'm saying things like, well, which levels are we dealing at? Align yourself on the proper level, because hardship, when you outgrow the cradle and the cradle breaks, don't cry because you got to level up. You've been wanting to level up. So what will, it's like, it's supposed to become common sense. The more we practice it becomes common sense. Being worried about it is not going to get it done. Never has. Living in the possibility of what you don't like does not make you rest well. Totally opposite. And it doesn't fix it. You practice controlling your thoughts by learning how to clear your mind. And then just remember, you clearing your mind so that you can lay your bricks properly. You were taught to worry. We were taught to rationalize. Rationalize is not our national. Those are not our national rationalities. Who would intentionally punish themselves, knowing that there's no solution in it?
I want you to meet Leslie Flowers if she has time to come up. She doesn't need to turn on the camera, but I just believe that you and her would 100% do a great show together, and you should meet her. So I just asked her if she'd come up for a second. Let's see if she does. She might say no. Layla?
Well, it's like this is a great conversation of so many things, and we're humans, right? So things happen, and as today, something happened that I never thought it would happen to me, and it just happened.
Oh, yes, let's talk about that.
Right? So this is where the mindset and believing is like, you have this idea is like, I want to get my degree because nobody thought I could get, I would finish high school. I'm too stupid for that. I will never do anything in my life. I'll never be successful. I'll never accomplish nothing. I went to get my driver's license. I was 37 years old because I was told I shouldn't be driving. Okay. So I went and did it myself. I did have a diploma in business admin, and I did a diploma in HR at university, but I wanted to get a degree, and people's like, you're not smart enough for that. It's not going to happen. Guess what? I went and got one, and I majored in entrepreneurship, finance, and management. Nobody around me, friends and family, believed that I could do that. Oh, no, none of it. So I was by myself, believing in myself, and that's a hard place to be. But I said, you know what? Somebody else has a better plan for me. And I kept it in my faith that somebody else believed in me, if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
And if the idea is there, is because I'm supposed to go there. And in no way in my journey, I was like, how am I going to afford it? How am I going to pay for it? Like I'm by myself. And believe it or not, when I said, yeah, I'm ready for it, it happened. In places I never thought it could even happen. Never crossed my mind out how it would be able to be funding my education so expensively. And recently, as of today, I never thought I would ever be recognized for anything because I always been told that I'm not good at anything. But I've been recognized today for International Women's Day, International Global Voice of 2026. I just received it today.
Congratulations.
Because some leaders out there recognize my talent. They recognize what I bring into the table. They recognize that I've been developing a lot of female leaders and men leaders, and I've been writing a lot of articles about leadership development, female empowerment. And out of nowhere, I never thought I would be recognized by nobody. And it just happened today.
So, ladies and gentlemen, to the stage, let's welcome Miss Leslie Flowers.
Hello, hello.
Hey, Leslie. Maybe her audio's not working. Aw.
So I
Oh,
just
well.
want to finish my thought. Sorry. So at the end of the day is like, you got to believe in yourself, even when nobody around you believes you, even when you feel your success is not going that wherever it's going. If you have that seed inside of you, it's going to happen. We just don't know how, but you just got to keep working at it. And the path eventually is going to open up. It's like the iceberg. We see what's coming out outside, but what's going under, we have no idea. You wake up one day and things have shifted. You don't even
Yes.
know how.
Preach.
Right? We have that mindset and have the spiritual side. Their mindset is some things, there's things we can't see, but there's other things that just happen that you don't know. And for me, that was another example today that I just like, wow, how's this even happen? I've never considered something like that ever, but universe and whoever decided, you know what? So believe in yourself, You can do this. You've done it before. You can still do it again and even better. So don't give up on yourself.
Absolutely. I'm not. I'm not.
I'm saying
And
for everybody too, like,
yes, 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 yes.
That's right.
like, as
And everybody out there, the reason for the discussion is just to let you know you're not alone. And that these guys can Leslie, my friend, how are you? I think you're muted. So anyway, this has been a great conversation. I hope you guys got something out of it. Fred, I hope you have a better impression of me today than you received yesterday.
I definitely didn't have a bad impression of you at all.
Oh,
I didn't
that's
know
very
you.
nice of you.
Can I share one last thing that I think is important that we were discussing?
Is it
And
for the world?
yeah, for everyone. We were
I'm
big.
going to put you up.
Can I go? Okay. We mentioned, all of us, we discussed gratitude and the importance of gratitude. And I just want to touch on how gratitude is truly placed. When I was younger, I was in a car being driven to Detroit, and that was the longest ride of my life. It was the worst thing I thought I have ever experienced. And when I got older, without a challenge at all, I drove to California back and forth multiple times. And the difference between the two was, even though I knew I was going to a destination, when I learned how to have gratitude for the journey, even though I had to go through mountains, I had to go through bad weather, and even be out there with, I don't know what else was out there. It is the gratitude for the trip, the journey, the downs, the ups. Knowing that, any of us that studied anything about the money, when it goes down, that builds momentum for us to turn back up. When energy goes down, it is like a slingshot where you find your will to let it loose, and it's going to go to new heights that it hasn't touched before.
100. Back in 2010, this one woman said to me, "Why are you worried? God can change your life in a day." And that moment changed my life, because it just refocused what I was thinking about and who I was relying on, because I was relying on myself.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, she's here. Hi, Leslie.
I'm battling Mercury retrograde and not quite enough power in my phone to align with the powers that be today.
I just felt like when we're having this conversation, and I was listening to Fred, I was hearing you
Yes.
in my head.
Yes, I was feeling the same way about Fred. Exactly the same way. We teach the same thing, my friend. I think you have a few years on me, but it's nice to meet you and know that there's another metacognitive on the panel.
Man, the pleasure is mine. I'm sure I'm not ahead of you. I'm sure you have a lot of things that, because we operate in the state of metacognition, that I'm totally not aware of, that I'll be able to learn from you as well.
What is metacognition?
So I
Fred.
was having trouble hearing you, Fred. So I'll just wait.
Oh,
And
he said that
I
he
don't
can
know
you hear
what else
me?
to do.
Well,
Can you hear me, Leslie? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Leslie might be having
I can
problems
hear.
with.
I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay. All right. Uh, I was asking, what does metacognition? I can't even say the word, Joe. What does that mean?
I'll explain it, Leslie, if you would like to build on top of it from your own perspectives as well in your studies. In general, from how I teach it, metacognition is discovered through the ability to analyze thought. If I was going to write about it myself from my own experience, it is the ability to step out of thought and define thought, where you
Absolutely.
where we under
Absolutely.
yeah where we
That. I'm sorry.
we good.
Audio wildness. That is exactly what I teach. Metacognition is a new term, and it's the ability, yes, to analyze your own thoughts, which means that you have to be on the higher side of your conscious awareness and relatively unaffected by the reactive side or our fears, which we all have. And so uh, I also call that agile thinking, Fred, the ability to think on your feet and speak a point of view based on the context. So not only are you just responding, aware and uh, uh, not reacting. So you are speaking from the conscious mind, which is what we're working to do to outweigh the reactive and negative, which typically reigns our thinking or not thinking. And so agile thinking is what I've discovered is that not only do you respond, but this has to do with context competence. So I could teach this just like you could to a group of plumbers or a group of physicians. The only thing would change is the perspective I used, the point of view. And that is what I see metacognition is also. It's the ability to watch yourself think, observe, and actually make choices. And it's almost like you've got another person in there, and actually, who that other person is the universe and God. In my view, that to Carrie, what Carrie said is that we've always heard that God is made in our image, et cetera, but we're looking up into the sky, right? As though probably from the storybooks, but the reality is intuition is in your conscious mind, and that is the whisper of God. Unfortunately, it is a feeling and a sensing that is typically outweighed by the reactive, low vibration emotion, which is so practiced that it squashes very quickly the great idea we have or the intuition, and only one thought prevails in any moment. Which is going to win? Which will dominate? And through practice of what you're talking about, Fred, and the work that I do, you are better able to recognize that this you are reacting and pause, as many people say, and become objective and evaluate and be curious. Then you can choose a different thought, which has a different vibration. But all of this, sounds wonderful and it's a great picture and you could see how it works. The trick is, if there is a trick, that it has to be done in spaced, repetitive intervals over time. And you have to be ready and willing to commit to this kind of thinking. What do you think, Fred?
I'm very, very grateful to hear you speak. I don't know if you run into to us a lot, but it's wonderful to know that someone else can hear the conversation and be just as surprised when they hear their own conversation, as if they were another person listening to it. So I agree with you 100%. That's why really martial arts align with it well, because we align ourselves in physical movement and repetition and
Yeah.
consciousness of that physical movement and repetition, which
Yeah.
helps continue in the alignment of thought, act. How are you feeling when you act? Are you engaged with your entire nervous system? Do you feel your feet on the floor? Or are you looking at the person just trying to attack you? Or are you just upset because of what someone did or said? Or are you afraid? Becoming conscious,
Hmm.
where you become aware, everything else bends to you. When we defend ourselves or something, even though that's a very low level example, it's not like we look at it and then we do it. It's like we can predict it. We see it happen before it happens.
Isn't that though? Is it really prediction? Was I heard you speaking about this, and really one of the things that I've discovered is that visualization is the DNA of manifestation. So is it really a premonition? Or is it based on the law of transmutation of radiant energy? That is, once you get an idea, if you begin to visualize it and see it as though you really have it, or you've already have it, it makes you feel good. It raises your cellular vibration, and you will attract to you whatever thoughts and vibrations, positive or negative, that you think the most. And the way that we manifest is actually the reason it may not be a premonition, and I think you'll like this, everything is created twice. First, the idea, which is thought energy, you get the idea and you think, oh, I'm going to do this. In that moment, it is understood by many, and I don't understand all of it, but I've seen the results. The second iteration is fully manifested in form. The repetition and the vibration you keep in spaced repetitive intervals over a period of months is the same amplitude of vibration that moves the fully formed manifestation to you. And you notice that you don't go toward it, it lands in your lap. So then it wouldn't be a premonition, it would be a reflection of the law of the universe of one of seven, which is that you can transmute radiant energy into physical form. So maybe premonition, but I say if you do it right, this is how children, they don't have as much fear as we adults do. They haven't had the years to build it, if you will, or experience it repeatedly. So they get everything they want because they, like you said, Fred, they just visualize, right? They see themselves with the new bicycle seat. They see themselves riding with their friends. So they are visualizing and they're excited about it. You see, mind is a cellular activity and it controls your body and your brain. It's the source, what you think. If you feel really great, you have a spring in your step. If you feel really lousy, you're dragging your feet. So that, maybe premonition, but yet, is it really, if we know that both the idea and the fully manifested iteration of the idea are born at the same time?
Leslie, that was fantastic.
It's a lot of shit.
I
It's a
love
lot
it.
of shit.
I'm with you. I love it. This is wonderful. Thank you. It's a great opportunity.
So Layla and Carrie, you guys are quiet. Um, anything you want to add before we cut out? I know that
Go
Yeah,
ahead,
Carl Center
Carrie.
was afraid to come up, and I know that he is very afraid of you know me in general, and that's why he doesn't want to come up because he's fearful of me. But you guys, what do you guys think?
well, I'm just going to say that to Leslie's point, and Fred and I did this when we were studying for all of our licensing exams, is that we said, oh, we're going to go pick up our pass notice. So the thought, and we still had to do the studying, and knowing that the pass notice was already
I think
prepared.
Carrie's talking, but do you hear her?
I hear her.
Okay, I don't hear her. That's good. Then keep talking.
Keep talking.
It happens simultaneously. And so it's exactly what Leslie talked about, those things that you want. You think about it and it manifests at the same time. And so we just put in the work and we went and picked up our notices. So I love the conversation, but it's not just with exams. You can really do that with any and every single thing in life.
Layla.
Yeah, on that manifestation side, what I do as well as an exercise, I do all the time. So I have a notebook and I make the list that I want to accomplish for the 2026 or the year. And I go back and I scribble a lot because when you imprint it, it takes a different level of energy in the universe. Right. So, and then sometimes I go back a couple months and I look and it's like, wow, that happened. I can like, put a line on it, like cross it. That happened. That happened. But when I put all these ideas initially, I didn't know how it was going to happen because we don't control that. But I put the idea and I wrote it down and I visualize it. I talk to it myself. I talk to myself. I talk to it to whoever. And I said, this was what I need. This is what I need to accomplish. This is how I would like to feel. And you just keep talking to it because you have that conversation and it's just free flowing. It keeps your mind keeping, uh, how can I say, keeping those dreams alive. I speak to it all the time, so it stays there. And by doing that, it helps me kind of really visualize it, keep it real, and believing it's going to happen whenever it's going to happen. I don't put a time on it, and a lot of things that don't happen right away. We want it to happen right away, but sometimes we are not ready for those blessings because we are not prepared. Mindset, physically, the skill set, whatever it is at that time, we're not ready. But when we're ready, it shows up unexpectedly.
And I agree with you. It's divine timing, and I think that that's one of the things that I have to work on is me saying it needs to happen today, and it's not on my time.
Excuse me, that's so brilliant, Layla. That is governed by another of the universal laws, the law of gender. And when you were talking, Bill, earlier about having all these tools in your toolbox, like I got them too, right? But you really don't know what to do. Well, here's the thing. As Layla said, you may not be ready to use the tool effectively because the universe or God, however you want to look at that, the one infinite energy bundle of love that is omnipresent and that always wants us to do well, lives in our conscious mind, whispers to us all the time. That if you aren't ready to use the tool effectively to take you where you want to go, the universe will hold back. That's why sometimes you don't reach your goal, but you don't give up on it, because sometimes you've bitten off more than you can chew, and the universe really has your back and doesn't want you to fail. So like you said, Bill, in your writing, and I've noticed this lately, that you're really pouring out a lot of wonderful concepts, is the reason why I teach set one goal at a time. And I have people arguing with me, well, we should have two or three. Research shows that nothing gets done when you do that. You must have one. And I think that once you realize that you've got 7 universal laws that are on your side. And I'll give you a quick example. I had a friend who always wanted to do cake decorating. Okay. All her life, she wanted to take a class in cake decorating, and she's like in her 40s or 50s. And we would do Taco Tuesdays. And she one day came and said, I just registered. I'm going to take cake decorating. I've always wanted to do it. I've held it in my mind all this time. And I think this is really an important lesson for me. It was. So she went and spent $500, got every single tip, pan, pigment. You wouldn't believe the stuff for decorating, but just take my word for it. She spent about $500, all that. She comes back 2 weeks later for tacos, and she said, Leslie, I feel like a fool. And I said, why? She said, I hate cake decorating. I thought I'd love it, but I don't. She had gone past the point. Can you see that? She had grown in such conscious awareness, and her growth in so many different areas. That thing she held so long, of course, if she hadn't done it, she would regret never having done it. But that can happen too when you are actually exceed the tools that you have. It's kind of an interesting phenomenon I thought I'd share with you.
It is. It is. So I want to thank everybody for coming on today. Fred, thank you for the last minute acceptance. Leslie, thank you for coming up at the last minute. And also thank you for supporting me. So I appreciate that. Leslie actually helped me out through my PayPal. So I want to give you that shout out. And it was very, very sweet of you.
You don't need to do that.
It was okay.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And I just want everyone to know that everything works out at the end the way it's supposed to. And that we are all light, we are all love, we are all energy. And with that said, I'm going to close out. If you guys want to stay until after the outro, we can just talk and decide if we're going to go to TikTok, or you guys can leave. The outro is like 4 minutes, so it's up to you guys. And I appreciate everybody for coming next week. And the week after that, it's very, very light conversations. I'm having an artist on, and he is an artist, but he doesn't use paint. He uses makeup, and he doesn't use canvas. He uses himself, and he turns himself into real live art. So he's going to do that live on the show. And then after that, I am having on the 22nd, an attorney who is a comedian and an actor and an influencer. So I want to go light because everything that I've done for the last few weeks has been very, very heavy. And I think we need to balance it. So with that said, I am out. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. I appreciate it. And 3.
Turn me up.
This is not a moment.
This is a moment. I'm here, hear me.
I refuse to live in fear. Not today, not this year. If the ground shakes, let it. We don't break, we get clearer.
Unity is more than love, more than words and prayers. Stand with me, don't fall now, we rise
because we can. Say it again, louder, right here.
Distractions everywhere, noise by design. They flood the feeling of the mind. World on fire, they call it fate, I call it power, miss my ledge. People dying still, they stall. Health reduced to protocol. Jobs erased in breaker time. They say it death like that's not crime. Feel so daily, prime time. Package neat with a headline. That's too much, you're a threat. That's how I know we ain't free yet. That part.
Tell the truth. I'm not loud cause I love the sound. I'm loud cause silence shuts us down. I refuse to live in fear. Not today, not this year. If the system cracks,
we sacrifice. Single moms choosing red or bread. That's not policy, that's bloodshed. They sell hope, back is red. Say be grateful just to be here. I'm not angry just to shout. I'm angry because I figured it out. Screams go while the truth goes up. They burn the line, they miss the mark. I will sing soft, just a fit. This is story, not counterfeit. If we don't speak it, that's right here. Truth don't whisper it up
I refuse to live in fear. Not today, not this year.
if the ground shakes good, let it.
We go there, we get clearer.
Unity is a goal, not a slogan, not a trend. We don't wait, we don't fall. This is how the future bends.
Say it, say it.
Say it again. Me wanna die, they wanna spit, they wanna fight, know what's claps and clicks, but I see you, you see. That's how revolutions be. I see you, I see you. Lions calling, I see you, yeah. Still they say, oh, it's clear. Here for who sleep and says, while our loves disappear. They call the Texas, I call the lane. By people slip for the everyday. I won't wait for permission slips. Tell you, freak slips. Enough, no one. Tell it.
Say we only need a place. Systems built to actually care.
The speeches I can't pay. Smiles us, you mix and cry. I'm not pretending this is fine. I'm shrinking just to survive. It makes you uncomfortable to just whatever no fear.
Refuse to live in fear. Not today, not this year. If the wall should let them, we don't break, we get clearer.
You get it to go.
Not someday, right now.
We're still here, still high.
Not backing down.
Still standing, still breathing. And we're done asking for space. You wanna win.